if your partner comes to you, like your wife, she comes to you and she says, I'm not comfortable with this female friend that you have. My opinion is you end your friendship with that woman, because
I agree.
Your primary priority is the woman you have in your life. And if she's uncomfortable with that connection, there's a reason for that. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Beyond Words with me, Najwa Zebian. I'm a firm believer in the power of words to heal what they didn't break and to break what they had no right in breaking. And today I have one of my dearest friends. He goes by Inquire Life on Instagram. But if you see any of his books, they will have Inquire at the bottom. And you're just in for a soul nurturing conversation. You're going to love this. And the topic that I would like to talk to him about is just one that I know you will enjoy. How are you doing today, Adam?
I am wonderful. Thank you for the kind intro.
Of course.
I appreciate it.
Very
I love those
short
words that you said. Can you say them again?
Which ones?
About the breaking.
That I believe that words have the power to heal what they didn't break and to break what they had no right in breaking.
Okay, can I just flip it at the beginning and ask you a question?
Of course.
What does that mean to you? Because it's so poetic, it's so beautiful, it's so deep, it's so layered. But what does it mean for you personally?
I have never been able to find healing in the same place that broke me, even though that's where I was looking for it. I was always looking for the person who hurt me to apologize, to validate that they did what they did, because a big part of the pain was their denial. I always found healing inside of myself. So I think when I say I believe in the power of words to heal what they didn't break, I believe in the power of the words that you say to yourself and the words that you allow yourself to receive from the world around you to create that medicine for you, that, ointment that's going to actually heal that wound that somebody else inflicted. And at the same time, I believe that sometimes people can use their words as sharp knives in your back or in your heart to break you in a way that they never had the right to. So all that is to say, words have power. So how will you use your words, right?
I think we should just fucking end the podcast right there.
Mic drop.
That was perfect. I have no more questions, ladies and gentlemen.
It's funny that you think of me that way and I think of you that way too. Like when you say something, I'm like...
why we connect. I mean, it's nice to have mutual admiration with somebody.
Yeah. No, I when I hear you speak, you're not at a shallow level. Like your words always go deeper, but you don't think that because that's who you are and it's how you are. And I don't know what made you this way. I don't know how far back you can go and remember, like, this was the moment that changed me. What was the moment that changed you?
I mean, every moment is the moment that's changing me. We're in the never-ending changing moment.
Yes.
There's no future, there's no past, there's only right now. And as soon as you acknowledge the now, you're already in the future and the past.
Yes. And I feel like you are there. But what do you tell somebody who's holding on to the past in a way where they're like, no, it's not just about the now. What about everything bad that happened to me?
Well, first of all, I don't tell anyone anything about their healing. That's for them.
Yes.
To explore, and only they will know what is best, in that process. What I will say, though, is that you are not what has happened to you. You are more than that. And so once you can fully acknowledge that truth, you can separate yourself from the story a little bit. And then you have more power over the story rather than the story having power over you.
Yes. I want you to tell me how you did that in your own life. How did you realize that you are more than what happened to you? What
I
did it
mean,
for
definitely poetry.
Mm.
You know, it's interesting that we're recording in this particular building because this is the first place that I came to for an open mic in my entire life. I was 19 years old and I showed up at a place called the Poetry Lounge, which was on the other side of Cahuenga. And it was like 120 people packed into this small coffee house. And everybody signed up on a list and they got up on stage and they read something that was moving and meaningful to them. And I got up and I started doing my rapping a cappella and people responded. And I came back every single week for 14 years, not only to express, because expression was really important to me. I was obsessed with expression. I was desperate to see and be seen, but also to hear other people tell the truth, to be vulnerable from a place of strength and be celebrated for it. It was beautiful. So my answer is always poetry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Poetry has healed me too. I think you and I are on the same page when it comes to that, because there's something about being able to put your pain into words and not worry about people judging you, but instead worry about giving the pain what it deserves.
Honoring it.
Yes. Without saying it defines me, but at the same time you're saying, but I did go through that and it was terrible. And I'm not saying I'm a victim, but I'm also not saying I'm going to deny that I went through all that pain just so that I could appear to be strong.
Exactly. You know, the best cure for repression or depression is expression. You have to get it out of your system. You have to move the energy. And you can do it in a lot of different ways, but writing is certainly one of them.
What do you tell someone who's scared of that?
Be scared of it and do it anyway. What in life is worth doing if you're not scared of? I mean, nothing.
Nothing at all.
Everything that's worth something, that changes you, that forces you to grow and expands your perspective is scary.
Yes.
It's hard.
Yes.
But you're not here to play it safe. You definitely didn't play it safe to win the race of life.
No.
You were like up against, 100 million sperm or something like that. You wanted to be here, right? You wanted to be here and you wanted to experience the dichotomy of this life.
Yes.
That we're blessed to be able to go through together.
Yes.
To share time. Yeah.
I think when you say, I want to live my life without doing the scary things, then you don't live life, right? You're stagnant if you don't do the scary thing, because
you're dying.
There's no change, right?
Yeah, you're literally dying. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was excited. The stagnation is dying.
Yes.
That's really, life wants to grow. You even think about it, no matter what you believe, if you believe in evolution, it's like a single cell organism that, like, for whatever reason, unbeknownst to us, wanted to come out of the ocean and keep changing until it reaches human beings. We're not even the highest form of life, in my opinion. We are a part of the spectrum of life. Life wants to move. Life wants to grow. So when you just, you die.
True.
You have to expand, so, and I'm talking to
life
myself
will run
first.
you over. I'm just getting the visual. If you just sit there and you're like, I don't want to move with life, life will stomp all over you to keep moving. So you have to choose to move with it. Yeah, I interrupted you.
No, that was perfect. And to your previous point about fear, if you can fully accept that, and you can also set the parameters so the creativity is on your side.
Yes.
You can have peace around creating. And what I mean by parameters is, and I'll ask you this question after I kind of like set the table. When I write something, I do not write for anybody else. I do not even consider that someone else is going to hear it. And I reserve the right to make something that I never show another soul. It's just between me and God.
Yes.
And that freedom lets me explore wherever the poem wants to go and just take the ride. And then when I'm done, I say, okay, do I want to show one person? Do I want to show my wife? Do I want to show Najwa? Do I want to show 100 people in the Poetry Lounge coffee shop? Do I want to show 1,000 people? Do I want to put it in a video that 1 million people might see? You know, the poetry is for me. What is your experience when you create?
I'm the same. I feel like if I write with an audience in mind, it's not authentic.
Right.
It has to come from me and for me in some way. And then I decide if I want to share it. And then I decide if I want to change something about it. Maybe there's something I'm not yet ready to share with the world. And I'm curious to know if you're the same. But sometimes when I start writing, I really don't know. Every time when I start writing, I don't know where I'm headed with the writing. I know what I'm starting with. I feel like sometimes the words just lead me to something that there's no way I would have arrived at had I not started with that one line or that one word. So for me, the most important thing is to start, like write it down. And you don't have to finish the poem now. You don't have to pressure yourself to complete the thought but just write it and then the rest will come. Most of my healing came from beginning with a question, which is also why I love your work so much, because it's all about going inwards and asking yourself and, you know, what's my opinion on this and how do I feel about this? It's not about the world around you. It's more about how you yourself belong in the world within you. And for me, that's what poetry has done. It's like it's allowed me to dive into parts of myself that I didn't know existed. Like at times it takes me back to my childhood, and at other times it takes me to, you know, an experience that I thought maybe was so insignificant, but it shaped who I am as a person. And when I'm done all of that, then I ask myself, am I ready to share this part of myself with the world? Maybe it will help somebody else heal.
Because when you tell the truth, you will be a mirror for somebody else's truth.
Absolutely.
Maybe not everybody's truth.
Yes.
But somebody's truth. And that's more than enough.
I agree. It's everything happens for a reason and everything's coming together. But in the interview that I just did right before this one with David Kessler, we talked about how you can either be a mirror for someone or you could be a wall for them.
I like that.
Right?
It's a good poem.
So be the mirror instead of being the wall. Do you think we ever absolutely have to be the wall for someone?
I mean, I would have to think about it more to say for certain. But my initial reaction is, yeah. You definitely have to be the wall for somebody else or for yourself sometimes.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe somebody can lean against you.
You're turning
maybe
what began as maybe a more of a negative thing, like you're a wall for them. They don't see themselves when they, you know what I mean?
Right. Well,
and I love that you turned it into maybe they don't need to be seen. Maybe they need to be comforted.
Yes, or maybe they need to not see what's on the other side.
Maybe they're not ready to see themselves reflected back in you.
There's a lot of situations where I could say that's accurate for me, where I'm literally looking at somebody and I see a blind spot that they have no interest in.
What do you do in that case when you know someone could make their life so much better, not only for themselves, but also in their relationship to you, but you can tell they're just not willing to acknowledge it? What do you do?
I mean, this is the complicated part of relationships. It's like accepting somebody for who they are and unconditionally loving them, even if you don't necessarily like them or like that one thing that they're doing. And you still have the space
Yes.
to know that you're separate from them and to set your own boundaries or to walk away.
Yes. I have a great question for you.
Okay.
What conditions can we have in love?
What conditions can we have in love? Primary conditions
Okay.
are important in primary relationships. So like, there are things that are non-negotiable for you as a human being. You're like, I can do that, but I can't do that. You know, what's that Meatloaf song? You know, he's like,
I know the one you're talking about.
I will do anything for
For
love,
love.
but I won't do that.
Yeah.
That's some deep shit.
It is.
You think, oh, it's just meatloaf. No, that's meatloaf, man.
Yes.
I will do anything for love.
For love.
But I won't do that.
Yeah.
You are the only person who can tell you what that is. And once you define that, it makes your relationships a little bit easier.
I love that so much. I think we get the message from the world that if you really love someone, it has to be unconditional. You have to love them for who they are and not rely on them for your own needs to be met. And I have a problem with that. Because
How
I think
does that show up for you?
I don't think that love should be so detached. I think love comes with reciprocity of getting needs met and a willingness to learn about the other person. What is it that makes you happy? And I'm going to go out of my way, maybe not every day and maybe not every week, maybe not every month, but when I have the capacity to put in the effort to do something for you that I know will bring joy into your life. I think love comes with an inherent wanting to see the person that you're with succeed and to want to celebrate them and celebrate with them. I don't like this new message that we have out there that to love someone means you have no expectations of them. I don't like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of new messages out there I
Yes,
don't like.
right. There's
a
a lot of
whole
like
long laundry
be
list of 'em.
detached and who cares about how they are and how they treat you. Just allow that to be and then you get to decide what to do. And it's like, how do you build a relationship with someone if you don't go through the hard time of saying, I will do anything for love, but I won't do that. And if you do that, or if you make me do that, you're losing me. Do you think it's wrong to express yourself in that way to someone? Or do you think silence and detachment and just observing and deciding for yourself is enough?
We're in the vortex right now.
Yes.
I don't think there's an answer to what you're saying.
Okay.
I'll give you my brief response.
Okay.
It depends upon what the non-negotiable is. Like there's some people who a non-negotiable for them is they want to have kids. And then somebody else, a non-negotiable is they don't want to have kids. Well, if that's like a primary condition for you living a life with someone, you have reached an impasse. It's like,
Yes.
what is it? The unstoppable force meets the immovable object.
Yep.
There are other examples of stuff like that, you know, that are like non-negotiables for people. The first issue I would say is most people don't even know what their non-negotiables are.
Yeah.
Because they don't know themselves.
They just want someone to love them.
Yeah, and they want somebody to fix them. Make it all feel okay. Make it all go away. I'll go one step farther. You know, we have a 10-and-a-half-month-old at home, Arthur.
So cute. Yes.
Absolute light of our lives. But that fool has no boundaries. Zero. He doesn't care if I'm tired. He doesn't care if I'm sick. He doesn't care if I was late to the podcast. He doesn't care how much money I've made. He doesn't care what people think of me. He doesn't care that I stand on stage and people cry or laugh or give me a standing ovation. He's like, I need love, bro. Let's play. It's 6 a.m. Wake up, Dada.
Yeah. Aww.
You know?
Yeah.
Or this bothers me. Like,
yes.
I'm mad at that thing. You know? So you want to talk about reciprocity? I mean, having a child is like pouring everything you are into a cup that shatters and then remakes itself 1,000 times a day.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm so grateful to be going through this experience and to be loving him unconditionally. Yeah, I think there's just so many different ways that love shows up in the world. You know, it's hard to overly say, well, this is the way love should be. It's like, who am I to tell anybody how they should love? Even I'll say one more thing. See, now you got me on a roll. You know, this whole thing about people like being monogamous versus being polyamorous. You know, do whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
You know, I have not met very many people that have been in polyamorous relationships that are not actively suffering.
I agree.
Most of the people I talk to are like, yeah.
It's hard. Yeah.
This is so hard. But like, amazing. If you find joy in that, go live your life. As long as you're not hurting other people, who am I to put my momentary judgment or momentary truth on somebody else's life and how they want to love?
Yes.
Go be free. Me, I don't even flirt. I do not leak my energy. That energy is from my wife.
I love that.
Yeah. So anyway.
Question for you. I was actually having a conversation with a friend of mine about this yesterday. And she brought up how she struggles with her male partner having female friends. What do you think about that? Because I'm curious to see if you and I align on this. What do you think?
Why don't you tell me yours first?
Okay, and then you'll tell me if we align. I think you can have friends from the opposite gender, but if your partner comes to you, like your wife, she comes to you and she says, I'm not comfortable with this female friend that you have. My opinion is you end your friendship with that woman, because
I agree.
Your primary priority is the woman you have in your life. And if she's uncomfortable with that connection, there's a reason for that. And I think you prioritize your female partner's comfort over someone who, in the grand scheme of things, is not as important. You're not building a life with them. You're not, you know?
So I would agree with you 80%.
Okay, tell
and
me
once
the 20.
again, this comes down to like, there's so many shades of gray in a situation like this. For me, if Adriana came to me and said, I'm uncomfortable with a certain relationship, the first thing I would want to know is, well, why?
Yes.
Like, I would want to have an honest conversation around why. Because if there's nothing on my side that is inappropriate.
I'm going to challenge you on that.
Well,
finish.
Like, for example, like, she loves you. We're going to go to lunch after this.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about life. She's not secretly thinking about that. She has said to me, though, in other cases, there are people that want more from you, and it doesn't feel great to me. And so in that case, when I agree, I can either decide to end that. I can say, I'm going to change the relationship.
Yes.
So I set more boundaries so that it makes her more comfortable. Or I can say, I actually don't agree with that. Can we have a conversation about why you might be feeling that way? And like, I think once you get on the same page, you can figure anything out. You know?
Yes. So I agree with the part about asking why and having the conversation and everything. Here's my thing. Let's say there's nothing inappropriate from your end towards this female friend that your wife is bringing up. But she senses that there's something inappropriate from that female friend towards you. The message that I think you would be sending that female friend by continuing to be friends with her, knowing that maybe there is that hidden feeling or intention from her part, is you're open to that in some way. Or that's the message she's receiving, because hope is a very dangerous thing.
It depends. Is my energy leaky? Like, am I treating somebody like they're my sister, like for real, for real?
Yes.
Or am I like playing around with it? Because, you know, I mean, people like getting attention. You know, I have a complicated relationship with attention, so I don't always like getting attention, but sometimes I like getting attention. And there's certain attention I like. And so, you know, you can play around with all sorts of energy and attention as you move throughout your day. When I said, I want to be with my wife for the rest of my life, that meant holding the container for that energy and not playing around with other people's attention or my own.
Yes.
And I'm not trying to come off like I'm a saint or I'm enlightened. It's a choice.
Absolutely.
That I make. So if my energy isn't leaky like that, and I've had the relationship before me and my wife met, and I have history with the person, I would probably just find a way to draw boundaries that could compromise and make my wife comfortable while also maintaining something that I value. But I'll tell you one other thing. If I had just met the person, right?
Yes.
That's different.
From having a history of a friendship with them.
It is different.
Yes.
And it's different if they're also like colleagues, because if you're in life, you meet people of the opposite sex all the time that are colleagues and they can become friends. So that's separate. But if I'm at a fucking party and I'm just like chatting with some woman and she's like, this is a great conversation, we should stay in contact. I'm like,
Nope.
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be like, yeah, here's my email. You know, but we're not like, I don't have a lot of time or space for space and time.
Yeah.
I wrote that in something yesterday.
Love that.
You want to hear it actually?
Yes.
I wrote something yesterday.
Yes.
Okay.
We would all love to hear it.
It feels fun to do something that nobody has ever heard.
Yeah.
I never believed in happy endings. Where the good guy got the girl and the hero wound up winning. I would watch a movie and think all these people are pretending for the sake of storytelling in an industry that thrives on manipulating feelings, bending truth or weaving lies for the sake of story selling, compartmentalizing lives into perfect little endings when we all know perfect little endings are beginnings. Plus, I saw where they were heading with the characters and settings, but I often wondered what would happen right after the wedding, or like after someone hits the big shot or wins the big race or big case or stands up to the bully punching him right in his big face. What happens then? Because 10 times out of 10, we got to wake up and be humans once again. That's why I'd rather leave a theater unresolved. Show me too complex to solve. Show me how the world revolves and evolves. Show me lonely on the edge when there's no one left to call. Show me real above it all until the credits start to roll. But now I'm 47. I just want my happy ending. Pessimism is for purists, and I'm tired of pretending. Plus, I don't want to wait until the moment I'm transcending to separate my spirit from the image it's defending. Plot twist. I'm too old to reinvent the wheel. My second act was satire, so I'll skip the big reveal. They say success is measured by your willingness to fail. That's why every day you have to fight for your fairy tale. You have to scratch tooth and nail to reach the light that no one sees. You have to build a kingdom in your mind, then visualize your keys. You have to feel into reality beyond what you believe and be grateful for your dream before it's even been received. Hell, it hurts to be in heaven. We deserve our happy endings. But I'm not sure we would notice if we're focused on ascending. Me, I have a son, so suddenly the boundaries have been blending. The blessings are astounding, and the pace is unrelenting. I have no time or space and time for wasting time or space, yet I still find both tempting. I fantasize that somewhere there's a garden worth attending or a fence that needs my mending. I've been falling off on purpose like a forest full of neon leaves, but underneath the surface, I've been having dreams of having dreams. I'm having hopes of having hopes. I'm having prayers of having prayers. You'd swear I'm in the same place, but I've been climbing spiral stairs. Unconsciousness is fertile ground for planting seeds. But the greatest art I'll ever make can barely reach my knees. When he gets old enough, I'll drop him in a field and watch him leave. When he gets cold enough, he'll build a fire from what I've achieved. Eventually, he'll wave goodbye to me like wind against the trees, but he'll have made a better sequel than his father could conceive. I'd rather turn my back as equals than be spiritually deceived. What's the point of pleasing people when the people can't be pleased?
Wow. You wrote that yesterday?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Where did that come from?
I got in a conversation with an agent recently that said that they liked my older stuff more than my newer stuff because my newer stuff felt simple and accessible. And they wanted it to be like basically like more deep and complex. And I'm bored of deep and complex. I don't want to sound smart anymore. I don't want to dance around the thing. I want to say the thing. And so that is how I approach my work. But kind of made me reflect. I was like, wow, am I not as good of a writer as I used to be? So that was like the stylistic kind of like window into why I wrote this.
Yes.
The conceptual window is that I've been thinking a lot about happily ever after. There's no there. There's only here. And so having Arthur going through this boundaryless experience, being sleep deprived while still traveling around the world, you know, performing and doing workshops has been a heavy lift.
Of course.
And it's been the best lift of my life. And I just, like I tried to say in the poem, don't want to wait for some happy ending that never comes. The happy ending is being happy that it's not the end.
Yes. That's so beautiful. I agree with you. I think we're always chasing something that's going to come in the future. And we lose this moment. And we lose what we have to live for right now. And then when you get to that moment, it doesn't feel like anything special. Or even if it does, just like you were saying about the achievements and the wedding and all these big things that we all aim for. What happens after? You have to wake up the next morning as a human being. Doesn't matter who you are, where you are, how old you are. You still have to learn how to live with whatever it is. And there was a part where you said it feels like I'm in the same place, or it looks like I'm in the same place. But for me, it feels like I'm climbing. And I think that speaks to the hidden struggle that we have to, while maintaining whatever sense of identity we can most relate to, at the same time continuing to feel like we're evolving into the identity that we know is our most ideal.
That's right.
Right? Like, you feel like there's a tug of war, but you want to identify with both. But you can't identify with the best version of you as long as you're holding on to the one that you think isn't the best one. So maybe the lesson is to look at who you are right now and say, this is enough. We can do more, but not by shaming this one, right?
That's
and
right.
with where you are with your writing, I feel like maybe the message that was aimed at you was that your writing has regressed, but I believe that it's evolved into something that's so much more, because just like when we were on our way in here, you said something like, when I asked you how's life, you said, life in general is good. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, what about the specifics?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do they feel when you go into talking about like the real life things that you go through? And I feel like your words, because to me, I never saw it as, oh, his writing used to be so much better.
Mm-hmm.
I see it as, your writing still has the same depth it's always had, but you don't feel the need to prove to the world that you know as much as you know,
Mm-hmm.
to give the lessons and the messages that you are giving them. Do you know what I mean?
No, I appreciate you saying that. Whenever I'm writing, sometimes I'll get a line out and I'll be like, oh, that line is dope.
Mm.
But it's not right.
Okay.
And there is a difference between something being dope and something being right.
Yes.
I don't want to confuse people into clarity. And I don't want them to look at me as if I'm better than them.
Mm.
So I'm just going to continue to follow my own bliss. And this person was coming from a place of commerce, and they have their own bag to carry.
For sure.
Yeah.
People always meet you where they are, right?
Yeah.
And
can I go back to a previous thought that you were talking about? Because I think it'd be cool to tug on that. The entire universe is one giant, ever expansive dichotomy.
Mm.
I'll go back to that.
Okay.
The best description of God that anybody ever gave me was at Burning Man, which I know sounds like a douchebag thing to say.
No.
But Burning Man is the only place I've ever been to that is the physical representation of infinite possibilities.
Okay.
Everything is one large watch, gears, mechanical movement, art. It's really cool. But when I was there, I was on an art car that killed a girl. Mm-hmm. It was not the driver's fault. This young woman wanted to grab a ladder that was on the back of the first vehicle that was connected to another vehicle, and she slipped, and the second vehicle ran her over.
Oh.
And it was horrible.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into any details, but it was a horrible, horrible thing to experience. It was horrible for the person that was there with her. It was horrible for the driver. It was horrible for everybody who was on the bus. And it was halfway through the week. And, I have this line, you will always find the evidence for what you choose to believe. Mm-hmm. I saw a lot of darkness for the rest of the time that I was there. I didn't see this shiny, incredible, positive city. I saw this place of selfishness you know, and
Yeah.
a lot of like smoke and mirrors. And that was kind of like where my head was at. And I was like sitting on the top of this perch, and this random older guy was next to me, and I was just complaining about life because this experience had become a microcosm for everything, you know? And I'm like talking about humanity and where we're headed and the evils of the world. And he looks at me and he goes, you know, I think every generation thinks that the world is going to end because their world is going to end.
Yeah.
And he said, the closer that you get to your own demise, the more you think this world can't go on without you. And I was like, that's an interesting perspective. And then I said, well, why do you think we're here? Like, what do you think this is about? And he said, I think, I've never seen this person again in my entire life, but this stayed with me. He said, I think that God was one thing. And if God is one thing, God can't experience itself. God can't know that God exists if only God exists.
Yes.
So he said the Big Bang was God separating itself so that God could experience God.
Wow.
And that is all we're doing over and over and over again. It's just God experiencing God. Now, to experience God, you have to live in this world of dichotomy. Light can't exist without the dark.
Yes.
You would not know that life exists if the dark didn't exist, and vice versa. Good can't exist without bad. Up can't exist without down. You know, this is the world that we're living in, right? And in order to have your own identity, you walk around, you're the experiencer, but you're also the observer. There's this little voice in the back of your head. So I'm saying all of this to say that your previous point about how to accept who you are while also striving for something better is the universe's experience.
That's so true.
And it's the writer's experience. Because as you write, you are the writer and you are the observer of what you have written.
Yes.
You know? So like, that's why this is like practice for life for me.
Yes. I would never stop writing, as I'm sure you're exactly the same.
The world would be a worse place if you stopped writing.
The world would be a worse place if you stopped writing too. And I honestly think through your journey of making sense of all these things, and just like you said, like when you heard these words from this man who told you about how God wanted to experience God, maybe if you hadn't been so reflective and introspective, and maybe if you hadn't taken the time to just go inward and think about all these things and what do I think and what do I believe, I don't think you would have received the depth of that message. Which is what I think is a problem of the world right now, is that we want the simple, the thing that we can just digest so easily, that requires no falling into it to feel something. And that's why I have a problem with what that agent said to you, because I feel like as simple as your words may be, they don't stay at the shallow level. Like, they take you on a deep journey of making sense of things. And I also feel like sometimes you're listening and you're like, something's at the shallow level, and then you say one word or a couple of things that make it all make sense. Like, you put it all together. That's where the depth is. So
thank you.
No problem. I feel like it's the same thing as someone who looks at the sky and they have no appreciation for the glory of it, or for life, or for the beauty in the simple things. But then another person who does appreciate and does have gratitude and does look for the beautiful things, they see the sky differently.
Mm-hmm.
And you might say, well, that's really simple. We see it every day. It's everywhere. But it's like beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But I also think comprehension is in the eye of the beholder.
Totally.
And understanding is in the eye of the beholder. Like sometimes someone might listen to you say something really impactful,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't have that depth within them. So it just flies over their head,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's why I love having conversations with people like you, because I feel like I don't need to explain things. Like we just say something simple and we like to talk about it, but
Yeah.
I don't need to explain to you, and you don't need to explain to me either, why this thing is so great, or
Right.
why, you know what I mean? Why this. And so,
I feel like a conversation with you is like getting lost in the woods.
aw.
And I mean that is the highest compliment. And it's like we trust that we're going to arrive in the perfect,
Absolutely.
like,
Yes.
you know, place where
Like,
the trees and
yes.
it's going to be, the sun is going to be hitting perfectly. And by the way, it's okay if we wind up at the river where the
Yes.
thing, you know, it's all
There's
good.
no right answer.
There is no right
but
answer.
you trust the person that you're lost with. I think there's a difference between the chaos that is getting lost in the woods with someone who has no interest in enjoying the experience of being lost with you, but
Mhm.
they want to judge you or blame
Oh,
you
right.
for
Yes.
being lost, and it happens
Yes.
in friendships and relationships.
course.
And so it takes me back to certain things I wanted to talk to you about today, but the power of the environment.
Mm-hmm.
When you surround yourself with people who are not comfortable with getting lost and being found, and getting lost and being found and being seen, and then maybe being more comfortable not being seen, I think that makes for a very isolating existence. You'll find yourself exerting more of your energy into trying to soothe their discomfort or their needs than putting energy into existing and enjoying the present moment. So I want to hear from your experience, because you've met a lot of people in your life, right?
Yeah.
You've met with a lot of people at different levels of closeness and intimacy, and that comes across in your writing,
Yeah.
in the depth and in the showcase of the struggle that you've been through, the suffering that you've been through that has led you to be who you are today. Who are the people that we need to avoid?
I mean, once again, I can't answer that for anybody else. What I can say is that if you don't trust the world, it's understandable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, I don't fault you for that or blame you for that, but you have to learn how to trust yourself.
This is where I'm gonna prompt you to go in deeper. You don't fault people for who they choose to not associate with. And you don't fault people for who they choose to avoid. And you don't fault people for protecting themselves and their hearts. How does a person know this is the end to my connection to this person, these people, this community in my life? And I'm trying not to like direct where you go, but I really want you to talk about how a person's soul feels around people who are not right for them.
Oh, it feels sick. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you definitely feel unwell, unhealthy, unclear, unconscious.
Yes.
You feel numb. You feel angry. You feel sad. You feel stressed. You feel anxiety.
Yes.
And I would suggest you find a way to either set better boundaries within that relationship and create more space,
Yes.
or walk away.
Why do you think walking away is so hard?
It just depends upon what the nature of the connection is. So we would have to like be a little more specific of what the nature of the connection is if I wanted to answer specifically. But walking away from anything that you've put your time and energy and love into is hard.
Have you ever had to walk away from someone that in the moment that you decided to walk away, you still had the kind of love for them that felt like you couldn't live without them?
Yeah, absolutely.
How did that feel?
And by the way, I've also had people walk away from me and be in the exact same mind state, have so much love for me, but feel like I was not good for them, you know?
Yes.
So I've seen it from both sides of the mirror or both sides of the wall.
Or both sides of the wall. So what empowers a person to make that decision if they have that much love, but then they finally say, they get to a moment where they say, that's it, it's over? What is it that causes that release? I'm just exhaling you out of my life. I'm just cleansing my life of you, even though I think I can't live without you.
You ask such like deep, definitive questions. They're like these definitive questions. I'm like, wow, I don't know how to tell somebody
because
that
I
forever.
know what listeners are thinking, because I get all their stories and from my own personal experiences. I also feel like you get it. So I want you to talk about it.
Okay, I will. What I'll say is like, this is the Never Ending Now Poetry Journal.
Yes.
This allows people to have prompts to create around the stories in their life. My other book was Inquire Within.
Yes.
It's about people going inward.
And
I think
look at where I opened the page.
Love.
Randomly.
Yeah, exactly.
Love.
I think in this fast food culture that we're in, everybody wants these like immediate answers.
Yes.
And the real answer is you are the answer. So I'm going to follow up on your question. How do you walk away from somebody that you don't want to live without because you love them so much, but they're not right for you? You love yourself more. You always have to love yourself more. You can't love somebody else more. You could sacrifice for them. I would give my life for my wife or son without even thinking. But there are some non-negotiables between me and my wife. Trust.
Yes.
That's my non-negotiable. Trust. Because how I grew up, I did not trust my environment. I was loved.
Yes.
But I did not trust. Somebody said something, I was like 50-50 for as long back as I can remember. So for me, if you say something, your word is your bond. And that is our relationship. And she knows that. And she is a stand-up human being with morals and integrity. And we have walked that walk together.
I love that.
You know, so, but let's say it was broken. Depends upon how badly it was broken. But let's say it was broken. I have to love me more.
Yes.
I have to.
You have to trust you more.
So that's what I'm saying. You cannot trust the world. You have to trust yourself. You can love somebody that's not good for you. You have to love yourself more. You know? And in doing that, when you're in the right relationship, it allows you to give each other the space to grow and change while unconditionally loving and accepting the person that you committed your life to.
Yes.
And that's like the weaving of a quilt.
Yes.
You know?
And then if trust is broken at some point, you can't continue weaving without having that hole. You know what I mean?
You got a hole in your blanket.
Yes. And that doesn't really go away unless you patch it up, you know, repair, which is why repair is so important when, you know, no one's perfect. Sometimes the trust is broken. But what you said about words and how you are your word, like if you give me your word on something, then that means something. You can't just go back on it, because then I can never trust that when you say something, that it's the truth or that you're actually going to live by it.
That's why when I got here and you said, how are you? And I said, well, life is great in general. The specifics was I was stressed out that I was late. And I was late because the morning routine was very hectic today. And then I left my wallet and I had to circle back for it. But that doesn't matter because this is our shared time.
Yes.
And my word is my bond. So I actually looked you in the eyes and I was like, hey, I'm sorry.
Yes.
That's unlike me, but it was like me today. And it stressed me out getting here, and I can let it go and we can have a new moment. Yes. But I had to acknowledge it, you know?
But you were being hard on yourself because of where your belief system is, right? Yeah. And I do also believe that a person is their word. And I'm also hard on myself if I'm not on time or whatever. But you were thinking you were late, and I was thinking, I always tell my friends who have kids, I know there are no rules. So if we plan to get together for breakfast and you message me 30 minutes before and you say, hey, my son or my daughter isn't waking up from their nap and I really don't want them to. And I say, that's fine, because I understand you come plus another human. So for me, I wasn't stressed out. All I said, I asked the studio, I said, do we have time? That was it. That's all I cared about. And I just sat and I comfortably waited for you. And I think when we take this example to a higher level of, you know, you are your word, for me, it's more like, if you, as my friend, promised me, maybe not through your words, but through your presence, through your actions, that you will always have my back. You know, I can trust you to tell you anything about my life and it's going to stay with you. That if any opportunity comes up and you're at the table and you think of me, you say, oh, I think this will be great for Najwa. And then I find out that you did the complete opposite.
Yeah, it's rough.
Or, right? To me, those are the huge things.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when it comes to something as simple as, I told you I'm going to be here at 11. If I'm not there at 11, I'm hard on myself. Because to me, a word is a word and a promise is a promise. But this brought up something for me, actually, about words. A lot of the times, I've been surrounded by people who say things, and when I would confront them about them, they'd be like, oh, like that didn't mean anything. We're just joking around or whatever. Right. When there's like inappropriate flirtation or inappropriate, just talking about, maybe talking down upon other people or criticizing them or gossiping. I don't like stuff like that. Like if I sit in a group and there's gossip, I'm like this. Because I have nothing to add to the conversation.
I hear you.
I don't like gossip. And I don't think that energy isn't anything. I actually think it's everything. And I think if you're putting your energy into using words that are unkind or mean or rude towards somebody in their absence, what does that say about you as a person? Like, you are your words. So if your words are gossip, and if your words are constantly tearing other people down or seeing someone succeed, but then highlighting their failures but you know, they didn't really deserve that. What does that say about you?
It says that you're gossip.
Yes.
It says that you're tearing yourself down.
Yes. Yeah. And I saw this thing yesterday on Instagram that said, stay away from people you don't like. Staying close to them only to get their news so that you can go and gossip about them is a form of, like, you're just showing who you are. And I think when people get so consumed in what others are doing, obviously they're running away from themselves. But I can be compassionate with a person running away from themselves by gossiping about others and criticizing others. But at the same time, I can have the boundary of, you're not the person I want to spend my time with.
Totally.
Go do your own healing. But going back to those words didn't mean anything, or to me as a poet, as a writer, as someone who, like, words, am I going to get in trouble for saying that? Your words are like Bible, like Quran. They're that's what you live by.
It's your guide to the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Your God living through you to the world. And so don't tell me those words meant nothing. And also don't tell me I don't need to tell you the words that you need to hear, because as somebody who sees words as important as I do, yes, it means a lot to me for me to hear a nice word from you, or a compliment from you, or for you to pick up the phone and tell me, hey, that thing you did was amazing. I have so many people in my life, Adam, that if I can publish a book, and I can graduate from my doctorate program, and I can launch my podcast, and I don't get a call, I don't get a message saying, that was amazing, congratulations.
Yeah.
But every person that I see on social media in that same circle who has a baby, or gets married, or launches a small business, everybody's like, congratulations, this is amazing, let's celebrate. But when it comes to me, it's like, well, you already know that we're proud of you. Why do you need to hear it? What do you think of that?
I was going to ask you, what do you think of that? I'm not being silly when I, tennis ball that back to you.
No, it's okay.
I'm actually curious, like, what do you think about that, and why do you think that is? Do you think it is because they think you already know because of how you hold yourself and your confidence, and maybe some of the other validation that you clearly get in the world? Or do you think it's something deeper?
I think I fell for the trap of believing that people in my life not congratulating me for things or making a big deal out of the really big deals in my life was just because they saw the way I carry myself, and I don't really put on the show of, like, I need people's praise or I need their validation. But when I really go inward and I go really deep, it really hurts.
Yeah.
And I think it comes for them from a place of not wanting to comprehend how big those accomplishments are, or what it took for me to get there. Someone actually once told me, I was just in a group setting, and I said, they were talking about being in a group, in many group chats, and how they mute them and whatever. And I was like, I'm not in any group chats. And one person said to me, you know why? It's because everybody thinks you're up here. And I was like, it took me a while to really comprehend that, because I think the blame was placed on me. And it goes back to a belief I've had about myself since I was this small, that I don't deserve to be included because something is wrong with me. Like, there's something about me that it grants me the fate of always being excluded. And so now this person is telling me, you're not included in stuff like that because you've elevated yourself in a way that people can't relate to you anymore. But it's not true at all. Because when I'm sitting among people, sorry, I don't want to.
Go ahead.
I don't think I ever say anything that, like, going back to what you said when you said, I don't want to come across like I'm, smarter than the people that I'm talking to, or, but I don't think you ever did that. I think you spoke what you knew.
Yeah.
You spoke where you were. And so for me, it's the same. When I share a book idea that I'm writing about, I'm genuinely sharing my excitement for this, this beautiful thing that came to me, and I want to help everybody, and I also want to help myself. But the other person who sees that I'm all the way up here is thinking she's bragging.
Yeah.
She thinks too highly of herself because like this is the 7th book she's working on, and so I'm never coming from a place of saying I'm better than you, just like I'm sure you were never coming from that place.
No, definitely not.
Right? So going back to your question of how do I feel about that, I used to think that I didn't need the praise because, yeah, you're right. Like I carry myself in a way where I don't require much, but I do require much.
Well, I just want to say congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm really proud of you. I think you're awesome.
Thank you.
And I really, I think that all the things that you're doing in the world have value, impact.
But you have
beauty.
Always congratulated me.
Yeah, I like to be, first of all, I like to tell the truth.
Yes. You have never made me feel like anything big or small that I've shared with you was insignificant. Never.
Yeah, I would never, but that's not even about here or here or here or here or somewhere around the block. It's just about like here.
Yes.
You know, it doesn't matter who I'm talking to. I try to find a way to be proud of them.
So today we're going to do something different and merge the 2 sections. Words that found me and words from me to you. And you're going to see how words that inspired my dear friend, Adam Inquire, to create something else. So let's see how this goes.
I will say this as briefly as possible.
Give us your magic.
We did a retreat in Morocco.
Okay.
Every once in a while, we're doing one next year in Ireland, by the way. Okay. So I'll make sure that all of your people have the information and that you come. Every once in a while, we'll do these retreats around the world and people will fly in and we'll do poetry workshops and adventure and cultural activities. And Morocco is an incredible, incredible country. And on the final night of our poetry workshop, a young man who had opened up the first poetry place in Marrakesh joined us. Okay. And we had odd numbers for when everybody shares. So he ended up sharing his poem with me.
Okay.
It was this incredible piece about a time in his life where he was thinking about giving up. He was going through real darkness.
Yes.
And he basically said that poetry saved his life. And this piece was gorgeous. And he finishes it. He's crying. I give him a big hug. I was like, that was so incredible. And I said, I know I don't know you, but I'm proud of you. Aww. And he leans back and he goes, you don't have to know me to be proud of me. Damn. And so I said, can I start a poem that way?
Aww.
I don't need to know you to be proud of you. I'm proud of you for all you've done and all you do, because you're trying to become a better version of you, and I'm fucking proud of you. I hope this poem will empower you. I hope that you'll remember it the next time someone's doubting you. I hope that you'll remember it the next time them is you. And you're doubting yourself because you have nothing else to do. Pull the voice inside aside. You're on their side. Look them in the eyes and say, who are you to talk to you that way?
Ooh, that's beautiful.
You wouldn't let another person talk to you that way. So what makes you think just because it's you, it's okay? You'd probably never talk to another person that way. You'd either walk away or defend yourself if you stayed. But since you're the other person in this particular case and you can't leave yourself, you have to learn to hold space. So say, I'm proud of you, even if it feels like it's pretend. Try talking to yourself like you're your own best friend. Try talking to yourself like the relationship could end and the words you choose have consequence. Don't take yourself for granted just because you're always there. Celebrate yourself for always being there, always being here. Compliment the mirror. Let's be clear. Self-help is self-care.
Yes.
Are you aware that your awareness and your ego are completely different things? Are you scared of the dichotomy constructing everything? Are you prepared to share the inner space without defining things? Are you attached to the illusion and the lullaby it sings? Are you distracted by the story, even if it isn't true? Because if you are, you're not alone. It happens to me too, and still I'm proud to be proud of you. Yeah, you. The infinite you. The non-specific you, the specifically terrific you, the universal you, the perfectly imperfect you. Look at you, you eternal you. You raced against at least 100 million sperm before becoming you and you and you. The one and only life will make. We have some nerve to walk around like we're some sort of mistake. We deserve to walk around like we're designed to take up space, like we're aligned from the core inside the earth to outer space. We are all miracles without a molecule to waste. You're a physical expression of fate, and I relate. You're a musical, magical, beautiful, powerful individual. That's why I'm extra proud of you, even when you get cynical. So remember that when times are tough. Close your eyes and hear my voice. You're a million times enough. Mm-hmm. Close your eyes and hear your voice until it's something you can trust. You're a million times enough. You're a million times enough. You're a million times enough. You're a million times. You are the sum of all of your experiences. You are the sum of none of your experiences. Mm. You're only you because you doubted you. Mm-hmm. You're alive. And I'm fucking proud of you.
That was amazing. How do you, I'm not even gonna ask. How does this just come to be, you know? It's so beautiful. Thank you so much.
I feel the same way about you though, you know? How does...
And I feel the same way about you.
And I feel the same way about you. And we're in a revolving door of...
Yes.
Yeah.
I really don't want this to end, but for timing purposes, we have to. Yeah. This was amazing. I'm sure everyone who listened felt the same way. Tell people where they can find you, everything you're working on, where they can get your book, your journal, everything, the retreat.
Yes, so you can go to my social media, which is INQ Life on Instagram. You can also go to my website, which is in-q.com, and you can get the Never Ending Now Poetry Journal there. You can get Inquire Within, which is my book with Harper One, anywhere, bookstores or Amazon. I have a special that's on Amazon Prime. I have a bunch of videos that are in the world. And I travel all the time. I do about 50 or 60 events a year. So if I'm anywhere in a city near you, please make sure to come see me. And you can do that by signing up on the newsletter.
Amazing. I know that you guys will go do your research. I'll share all of this information in the captions so that you know where to find him and his work. And I hope that you can take some healing from everything that we talked about today. And I hope that you take the time to give yourself permission to be this way, to be someone who's this deep, to be someone who cares about things like this, to be someone who has these conversations. I hope this inspired you to find healing beyond words. And until next time, have a lovely day.
Bravo.